The lost cause of the Confederacy is in everything from the lowest wages at the local coffee shop to the disproportionate amount of Black people dying from COVID-19. This is not an argument about remembering who we were in the 19th century or even the 20th. This is about defining who we are now. I'm Kara Zelaya from Daily Kos, and this is How Did We Get Here? How did we get here? The Southern cause of the Confederacy is and always was about slavery. Before the war, 1 in 3 Southern families owned slaves. For the most part, the other 2 families not only accepted that, they fought for it because they too wanted to own slaves. Owning slaves wasn't just a symbol of status and wealth, it was an engine for it. People who lived among slave owners accepted and aspired to slave ownership the same way that people admire and defend billionaires today. We forgive whatever unfair breaks the government provides them, ignore their odious behavior, and we allow and even celebrate their callous mistreatment of workers. We accept them, we even fight for them because we want to be them. The 200 slaves that Robert E. Lee owned were a major corporation that swept massive riches into his pocket. The idea that Lee or Longstreet or other Southern generals sat around bemoaning that they should have surrendered slavery to preserve the purity of the cause is pure revisionism. It's not just putting words in their mouths, it's putting completely alien thoughts in their heads. The cause was slavery. The open, stated, straightforward cause was the conversion of human misery and torture into profit. The Southern states wrote this proudly into their Articles of Secession. They spoke it loudly and proudly in their organizing speeches. Every other cause has been a post facto fabrication. This idea that many of the memorialized Confederates did not support slavery is just complete and total bullshit. After the war, the profits of slavery were ground down, spread thin, and applied across the nation in the form of white privilege. Confederate revisionism made that possible, and it accomplished 2 things. First, it assured that even the lowliest white person could always have someone to look down on. But more importantly, it assured the nation that there would always be cheap labor, unprotected labor, labor whose safety, health, and basic humanity could always be disregarded. When Donald Trump or your local representative or your aunt on Facebook is talking about the preservation of Confederate monuments, it has nothing to do with past events and everything to do with the oppression that is happening now. Confederate memorials in the United States are spread across 31 states and the District of Columbia, which is way more than the 11 states of the Confederacy. But tell me again about how this is Southern history and not the lust for greed and white supremacy. Not to mention the fact that most of these monuments were not erected immediately after the Civil War, but instead between 1890 and 1950, which coincides perfectly with the era of Jim Crow segregation. For context, the Confederacy only lasted 4 years and lost the Civil War in 1865. Y'all, I'll be honest, it's hard for me to empathize or sympathize with anyone who wants to keep these Confederate monuments around. I feel like I say this constantly, but it's 2020, Google.com is free, and everyone is talking about this. I'm just not at this place where I'm gonna be lectured about the value of preserving Southern history in the form of a Confederate monument or waving the Confederate flag when it seems to grossly ignore the fact that the Confederacy was such a minuscule, hateful, racist, horrible part of Southern history. That's the one you want to protect? That's the part of Southern history? Why? Why is your hang up this specific part of Southern history that you want to protect? I'm not saying we whitewash history and ignore the atrocities of slavery. I'm saying we stop celebrating it. Y'all, we've got other things. We've got Southern food. We've got Southern cities. We've got Southern civil rights leaders. We've got Southern music. We've got Southern literature. We've got so many amazing things about the South. So I beg you, pick any other way to celebrate this beautiful Southern American tradition that does exist beyond the Confederacy. Let me know below, what Southern figures would you like to see replace these Confederate monuments? Personally, I'm a fan of the idea of replacing them with delicious Southern fried foods like okra. If you don't want to write a long rant to your relative on Facebook who's talking about the preservation of Confederate monuments, feel free to send them this video. I can take the heat. I'll do it for you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next week.